Welcome back to a new season of Growing Through It, where you come to grow, heal, and get motivated one conversation at a time.
That's right.
Today, I have my special brother and friend, my Aquarian brother, I should say, Lovell Adams-Gray in the building. Now, Lovell, I appreciate that. Lovell is a powerhouse actor, writer, and producer whose work you've probably seen on Slasher and Star's Power Book 2, Ghost, as well as the standout Canadian indie films Brother and Morningside.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the screen, Lovell is also one of the 7 co-founders of BDB Productions, Inc., which I am also a part of.
That's right.
A company dedicated to bringing bold, diverse, and captivating stories to life. Y'all, welcome back to another season of Growing Through It. I'm your guy, your host, the one and only Ryan Rosary. Thank you for tuning in. Lovell, thank you for joining me, brother.
Thank you for the butter. It feels really good to be buttered. It's nice.
You deserve to be buttered, man.
It's nice butter.
You
I feel like
do.
a nice special like focaccia. I feel like
Nice
focaccia.
focaccia.
Crunchy on the outside,
Mhm.
some extra butter on top and in the middle. Just a well buttered bread.
It's so tasty.
Get you friends that pour into you like that and butter you well.
Yes. Agreed. Y'all, make sure you get yourself some friends that pour into you because it is very important.
Yeah.
We've been friends for like more than 10 years.
Don't age me now.
More than 10 years.
It's been a minute.
All right, brother. Do you remember how we first met?
Yes, I do.
Tell me what you remember.
Yes, okay. We were at an audition, and we actually like became like we were in it. There was like this bunch of. I think we were at like Casting Central.
Some of that.
And we were sitting in the room, and it was like one of those long waiting periods, waiting for be the next guy in the room, and we just started talking and became friends. And my birthday was like the following week or so, and we'd found out that we were born a day apart. So I was like, "Yo, come to my birthday party." And it was like this mansion party we had. This is back when you can like rent out the mansion party before they like shut down the mansions because they were getting destroyed. But we had this like dope birthday party, and yeah, that's how I remember it.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
And I do remember the house, bro. The house was it had a big library.
Yeah, man.
I don't remember how many rooms it had, but I remember it had a big open like living area space. I think there was a pool there as well.
There was a pool table.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was an incredible time, but it was just nice to connect because like acting can feel so competitive, and it can feel like you're always like at each other, and got to beat each other to get the next part. So it was like nice to dispel that in the room, to clear the air and to like root for each other instead of being who's this guy? Oh, he looks like me, but he's like taller and more handsome and all these things. It's like, nah, like get rid of that. What's going on? You look like an interesting dude. Let's vibe. And all of a sudden we're born a day apart. You would have never known that had you not stepped out of yourself and made that introduction. So I'm happy that we were able to do that. And now we've been friends for like 18 million years.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love that, man. That's one thing about you that I truly love is how open you are as a human being to wanting to connect with other people. You don't have much of an ego or any ego to you. That's one of the things that I've noticed about you from an early on age. Talk to me, like, why is it someone like yourself, especially in such a competitive field like the entertainment industry, why do you find that you personally have a lack of ego or no ego? I mean, everybody has some ego. Everybody has an ego,
I feel like we all have an ego. My ego comes out when we game together.
Sure. Yes, it does.
I try to expel my ego in safe places, but I feel like we're artists and we're making, art. It's not like, our stuff is more important than anyone else's. We feel like we're on the earth for a purpose, and God has given us a gift to like, be these shining lights and these sounding boards for His creativity to pass through us. So if that's what I believe, and like my job now in these last 33 years of my life and like going forward, like is to get out of my own way, so that God can pour through me. And like, I can't, there are, you want to have, I guess, standards, or you want to have self-respect and discernment. But at the same time, like I've been in situations where I've gone out of my way to say hi to somebody and they don't even act like they don't know who I am, and that hurts. But if I let those experiences jade me and make me bitter, then I close myself off to having interactions with people who reciprocate that energy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily that I don't have an ego about it. It's more like that I I think my willingness to put myself out there is a little bit more it weighs more on the scale of who I am than being afraid and shutting myself down. And like when it comes to like around that time, there's this wonderful actor from the city, Jameel French, who passed not too long ago. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He taught me a valuable lesson about acting in this city, and it was something I carry with me to this day. It's God only elevates. And it was because I thought, again, that we all had to compete for these roles.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 2 roles for Black people in Toronto at the time. And you don't get them. You don't get them. And I had auditioned for this part, and I thought I was really good for it. And, I didn't hear anything. And found out that he got the part. And, I was like, all right, moving on, like whatever. And I remember being at home. This is before Mortal Kombat X came out, and I was watching trailers, and they were like dropping the characters one at a time. And I was just in my bed watching these trailers and like I'm feeling very excited. But my agent calls me and says, yo, so basically they want you on that job. They had already shot with him a little bit, but he had just gotten another job. So he had to go and do that. But they want to know if you're available. I was like, wow, all I'm doing is laying in my bed watching Mortal Kombat videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, absolutely. But it was like, I thought that I had to win out, like beat the other actor to get that part. But it was like God bumped him up to another position, and I was able to get bumped up to another position. So there was no like someone had to get knocked down for me to get elevated. It was like, no, he goes there, you go there. We only go up. We only elevate. Mm-hmm. And even when it looks like there's like something that's to your detriment, or something that you don't want to happen, or something that like is terrible, it is all for your good, right? He works things out for the good of those who love him. So it's like, to know that in my spirit at such an early age was, I think, a gift that has carried me to this day.
That is so beautiful, and such a like wonderful way to look at life, and a wonderful perspective, because a lot of people I know don't think like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that kind of mentality and that openness. And like someone like myself, hanging out with you and the other guys part of the group, I've learned how to change my mindset and realize, like Adrian, who I've also had on the podcast,
Mm.
speaks a lot about that. Always says God only elevates, and to have that mentality and that perspective on life, I feel like that's where it's gotten you to where you've gotten to thus far. Because I remember out of the group, you were the first person to get a series regular on a TV series.
Mm.
And that was on, or was it a series lead? Was it a lead or regular?
Regular.
It was a series, okay.
Yeah.
And that was on Slasher. At the
Yeah.
time, I believe Slasher was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about when you got that and how you had felt, like, because at the time you had been working at a restaurant, if I'm not mistaken, Pickle Barrel?
Yeah, man.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
For people listening and other artists, other entertainers, anyone in any type of field out there, to know that, it starts from humble beginnings. Like, you didn't just, you're on Power tomorrow, you didn't end up on Power. So talk to me, and for the audience, that journey of how you got from Pickle Barrel to Slasher, then to Power.
It was actually funny. I was just at Pickle Barrel today with Leighton.
The same one?
Yeah, the
That's
same one.
crazy.
We went back to go like eat some food, and it's changed a lot. Like the menus changed. They don't have smoothies anymore, which is like, I was tight about. But it was crazy because like that was a job that I think I worked at the longest and most consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I had other jobs. I worked at factories. I worked at like Wonderland. I worked at jobs that I was like, yo, I can't go back here again. It's like draining me. You know what I mean? And this was a place that, it was volatile at some points. It's a restaurant, it's crazy.
For sure.
But it was the most consistent because it was like, okay, this is allowing me to feed my art.
Mm-hmm.
I can make the money here. I can get tips. I can get a little bit of a paycheck, and now go to an acting class, or, pay for a visa, or pay for whatever, like that I can, feed my dreams. And that's something that I think, is a little bit lost today, is like working at a place, knowing that it's not your end, knowing that it's like, sometimes you just got to keep your head down for a second and drill away, knowing and working in faithfulness that like, yo, something will come. I know this isn't where I'm going to end up. I'm using this thing to feed what I really want to do. And that was able to like help, yeah, with that, thinking about that and thinking of it in that way, I was able to like power through the toughest shifts. And I was dealing with a breakup at the time. I was going through it. I was like, I don't want to be here right now. Like, it's crazy. But around the time that me and my wife got together, Kiana, we were just dating at the time, and it was really early in our relationship, and we got the audition for Slasher. And at the same time, I just come off a play, so I was feeling like really like I want to do more plays and stuff like that. And but I got this audition, and I felt really right for it because I liked that he was like the moral compass of the story. That he was like, we got to do this thing. He was kind of like a reluctant participant in what led to the horror of what it was. And getting that audition and then getting into the callback stage, Kiana and I were just in that talking era, like in that space where we weren't really like 100% dating, but I think we just started dating or something like that.
That exciting part of the
it's like early,
beginning,
yeah, you know what I mean? So we don't know, like we're still like figuring out how we like navigate things, and we're both actors, so we're still figuring out how we like work together and stuff. And I got to the chemistry read, and she also got to a chemistry read. So I'm chemistry reading with her, and I'm trying to pretend like I don't know her.
Not know that. That's funny.
Yeah, bro. We went into it, we're like, I don't know if we should act like we know each other. I don't know if that's gonna be like feel like it's like dishonest if we, or it's like some kind of unfair. You know what I mean? So we pretended like we didn't know each other, kept it very neutral. Like, yeah, I've seen each other around. We've seen each other around in the city. Like we kind of know each other, whatever. And then we did the scene together. We were like so nervous because we weren't really like we didn't know how to like really navigate this scene together, even though we had talked about it and worked it out beforehand. But it was just like, now we're in the room in front of everybody and trying to hide our dynamic. It was like, we don't really know how to like, if we should play on it or if we should like downplay it. And anyways, I get the job. I go forward and do this job, and she didn't get that part. And I told the director, like, yeah, actually, like, that's my girlfriend. He's like, why didn't you tell me that? Like, that could have been a great thing to have with, you know what I mean? Like, that would have been, like, really cool to see and explore. So now going forward, if that ever happened, like, now everybody knows we're married, and, like, there's no if, buts, candies, or nuts about it.
When did that happen?
Oh, yeah, it happened.
I'm joking. I'm not. I was at the wedding.
Yeah, yes, you were. You were one of the groomsmen. 2 years ago, yeah. We just celebrated 2 years of marriage, thank God. So, but that was like that journey. And when I finally like was starting to, shoot the job, like, we started to like work on it and stuff and get everything prepped and ready to go, I went back to Pickle Barrel for like another shift. And immediately as I went like underneath the little like awning, my back started to ache. And I felt my body like lean over like this. And I was like, it was just like, it was so subconscious and involuntary. It was just like how it felt to be there. And I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go. Like, I can't come back here. So now we do the job. It's done. I get paid. It's a great show. It's coming out, all that kind of stuff. And I didn't know about like PR and that I had to like, kind of garner my own press around it. I didn't know how to go pay someone to like get me some, news articles and things. I didn't know any of that. I thought the show was going to do it for me. I'm good. Right. I landed my first series regular. I'm gone. Like, I'm out of here.
Right.
Bro, the next 2 years, I was like, I'm back to zero again. It's like starting all over again. It felt like. And fortunately, again, I was still doing plays. I was still, still in the vein of like, I love what I do as an actor. So even if I'm not going to go from regular to regular or lead to lead, I still am enjoying this process. But I couldn't go back to Pickle Barrel. Not because I was like ashamed, but because I think the concept of going back there and thinking about being there and running around, and like every time I was on a shift, I felt like I had to take a crazy dump. Like, it was just full of anxiety in my body, and like that's how it manifests. I'm like, I gotta use the bathroom, like, you know what I mean? So it was like doing that for like 8 hours, like running around. You get the morning rush, the night rush. Like, anyone who knows the serving life knows it can get crazy and stressful
Yep.
and fill you with this anxiety and also a buzz that now you got to take home with you later on. And it's good because it's good money and, it's all that kind of stuff and flexible. But I'm like, I needed to find something flexible that was still within my craft. And then you guys told me about Faces and Places, the background company.
Right.
And I went and started doing background. I'm like, if I'm going to be doing any other job other than acting, I want to be on set. I want to be in the environment that I want to be in for my life. I want to be on set. I want to do set things. So even if it's background acting, whatever, who cares? I'll be there and make less money than I would at Pickle Barrel, but still be in my field of what I want to do. And I got a stand-in gig doing that, and that paid some good money. And like, I was terrible at both of those things. I was terrible at being a background actor. I was terrible at being a stand-in. I was such a bad stand-in. I looked like the guy, but like I didn't know how to be a stand. I was like, you got to like learn the text because they need you there to like run the scene sometimes where he's not, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I had no idea. I was like, you want me to stand here? Sure, I'll stand here. Yeah. And then between setups, I'll go get crafty. The producer's looking for me, like, where you are? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting in trouble on set because I'm like, I don't know, this is not what I'm here to do.
Right.
I feel like that's a flaw in me though, is like not being, it's like an involuntary thing of like not being able to give 100% of what I want to give in a job that I know is not where I want to be at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's like something else that isn't, it's maybe a part of my field, but like I know I'm not meant to be here. It was like, that's where ego comes in, where it's like, bro, I can't give you 100%. Sorry. Like, like I'm not, there's no forward movement. There's no like nothing. I'm just like, I'm not trying to do stand-in. I want to act. I'd rather do a play for peanuts than to be doing something where I just got to stand here and look pretty and then move on and then come back and then do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're there all day, every day, but you're not acting. You're not expressing. You're not, interacting with another actor and doing the scene and that's finding the dynamic and finding the changes and all that stuff. It like being in that environment, it would weigh on me a little bit. You know what I mean? But fortunately, like having, you guys around me, having Kiana, and we were constantly trying to make our own things and, write our own stuff and just continue to put ourselves out there, the monologue slams, things like that were like my saving grace, like my outlet to still, feel like an actor, Yeah. And
so
yeah.
Before we go on to touching on to how you got yourself to America and like that journey, touch on why did you feel compelled and drawn to wanting to join BDB and like the collective, especially at a time when it felt like there was only one opportunity for Black men in the city, bro. It felt like I remember that era, bro. It was so brutal. It felt like there was only like 2 Black guys working. Like it was so bad,
crazy, dog.
It was so bad.
And then we were all like looking at like Fences and like Selma and Central Park 5 and all these projects that were coming out, like highlighting Black people and being like, there's so many opportunities in the States. And then you come like to Canada and there was like 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like they had Book of Negroes and then like waited like 10 years and did like The Porter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's not for lack of trying. It's just, I don't know if there's like, I don't know what it is, but I pray it's getting better because there are so many talented people here in this city, in this country, that their work is, we harness our craft, we hone our craft, we work hard, and we don't come from a place of, well, it's always going to be there, so it'll be there. It's like, no, I got to earn it. I got to work. I got to keep it. You know what I mean? So there's this energy about like hustle. There's an energy of like, how can we get it and create more? Because I know from BDB's perspective, we started that out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? We did the old proverb. We did road marks. We did residue. We did the barbecue to connect actors and casting directors and people together. We were doing the monologue slam because it was like a way that actors can get seen, showcase their work, feel that they've expressed themselves, feel like they've acted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can call yourself an actor, but you haven't acted in 2 years. Like, are you an actor? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you want to feel like you actually are building and getting better in your craft. And the thing about Al Pacino said, like, you need an audience to be an actor, right? So it's like, how do we get our things in front of an audience? And when we did Judas Noir, that was like the most incredible experience of my life. One of, anyways, but probably up to that point, like, incredible. Being able to do a play with all of the homies and getting to highlight other actors in the city, all black, all beautiful, all people that probably otherwise wouldn't have gotten this opportunity. Nuts.
Yeah, that was pretty
and life-changing. And it was like, you get to a spot where it was like, we were in a basement. And we were just gaming and talking about acting and trying to help me with this tape and help me with this audition. And let's just, okay, fine. Let's get together every week and like write some scenes and then like just work them. Yeah. All right. It went from that to being like, let's write a story together. Went from that to being like, all right, like, why don't we just become a production company and produce our own work? We didn't know the first thing about what that meant or what that needed, and taxes and all, nothing. It was just like out of necessity, It's like the time now, like the post-COVID, post-strikes, post-whatever, there is so much need for the creative artist to create, right? We all feel like we need the millions of billions of dollars to make a movie or to make a play or to put something up. Or all we need is an audience. You can do it on the street corner. You get some people that love what they do as actors. You get people that just, I love holding lights and being able to light something. And I love, you know what I mean? You get people that love it, people that really love it. And you can make something out of nothing. And I've seen that come together so many times. It's still in my heart. You know what I mean? It's still in my heart forever. I want to be like a 99-year-old man and be like, you can do it. All you got to do, you don't need all the money. You don't need the world.
Money. Money is not needed.
It's like that Sway in the Morning interview was like, why is it that you need these people? Why don't you get your own money and do it yourself? How, Sway? Like, no. Sway, yeah. Like, it turned out Sway was talking some truth, right? It was like you. It's not necessarily you empower yourself, but it's like you work with your community. You work with the people that you're in a room with people that are venting frustrations about, it's like there's no work for us. When there is work, you got to be this type of person. You don't feel black enough. You don't feel white enough. You don't feel like you're this. You don't feel like you're that. How about you write the role you want to see for yourself? How about you write a character that loves anime and also loves music? How about you write the character that is a super nerd but is from Jane and Finch and so like has no opportunity to actually have the outlet for what they want to create? They want to invent something, but guess what? I don't have the materials. So now here I am, 10 years later, still in Jane and Finch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are stories that we know. These are stories that we grew up with. These are people that we know, that we've seen. Yeah. But it's like, feels next to impossible to get that from our internal experience out into the world without millions of dollars to just fund the project. And I'm a firm believer, and maybe it's just me being idealistic, that we don't need all that money to do it. If we get some people that love it, we can do it and make it look dope,
I totally agree with you, man. And Issa Rae always says, why always trying to reach to the people that are at the top? Why do we gotta work with the Denzels and the Oprahs and the Tyler Perrys? We should be reaching with the people that are around us and then build ourselves up that way. Build the ladder together. You don't need to climb the ladder and try to do it alone, right? Yeah. What's the quote? I think it's like, the person that goes alone makes it quick but doesn't go far. But the people that go together go far. Something like that,
Yeah, it's like African proverb.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Now you were saying making something out of nothing. You really did that, brother. You really like made nothing and you turned that into something. You got yourself to America. You got the visa. You ended up on one of the biggest shows on TV at the time, Stars, Power Book 2 Ghost, an amazing sequel, playing Drew Tejada. Like, that you were, I think you're the first out of our group to even make it into the American market and get the visa and go through that whole process. But it wasn't easy.
Mm-mm.
There was a lot of tribulations.
Mhm.
There was a lot of struggle. If you want to talk on that, from like even like even going there and like doing the audition for one show, thinking it went your way, didn't go your way.
Yeah.
I've heard the story from Adrian, but I
Yeah.
want to hear
Yeah.
horse's mouth.
Yeah. I with the whole Power experience, I auditioned for this show called Bruh, Tyler Perry show. And I went out for a doctor, and I had just finished playing a forensic pathologist on Coroner. So I was like, I'm in my doctor mode, you know what I mean? And I was really happy because my grandpa, Poppy, he was alive at the time. This was like 2019, and I was really happy that one of my like last roles he was able to see was me playing a doctor. He wasn't no nerd like that. He was just like, it was really, for me in my mind, it was like, cool. I played like, the heart of something. I played a blues musician. I played, these characters, and I got to play a doctor, like someone that was like smart and not cussing, because he was always like, don't cuss, you know what I mean? Like, but that year, I was the brokest I'd ever been in my life, bro. I was so broke, like, when I was broke in high school and like early college days, it was different. Like we were going downtown on like taking the bus and like taking the train, and I was like asking the homies, "Oh, can you spot me for a quick little like sub or whatever, and I can get you back later." But this was different. This was like, all right, now I got bills. Now I got like credit card bills I got to pay, and I got to find a way to get to LA and put myself up if we're gonna actually do pilot season and things like that. And I ain't got no damn money. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I was still doing background stuff, but again, that's paying just enough to cover your credit card bills that are maxed, and then I'm living at home with my folks, so they're not charging me for rent because they're really very, very nice to me and they love me. But it was still like, I want to help out. You know what I mean? I want to contribute to the home in some way. I'm not just trying to be there. And I just didn't have any dang money. But by the grace of God, I say this unequivocally, by the grace, mercy of our Heavenly Father, He gave me a partner. He gave me a partner that believed in me, believed what we were doing, and someone who was willing to build with me, who was also building at the same time. And she was like, yo, like, we go to LA in July because my brother's a dancer and he wanted to do this competition and everything like that. And this girl footed the whole bill.
Wow.
She footed the whole bill, and she got a rental car and everything. We were in LA, but like we were, it was like every time I was going to LA, I had a manager at the time. I was like testing for something, and I was like so close. And we go to LA. It's in July. We go to LA. My brother's doing the dance thing, and I just did a screen test for something. I'm like, yo, I'm there, bro. I'm right there. Like, I'm gonna get it. I know I nailed it. I wasn't like in my head. I was there, live, available. Like, I'm the right guy for the job. I know I'm gonna get it. And I'm there, and I get sick. I get a cold. Like, I'm dealing with a tickle in my throat that's like turning into a whole body cold. I mean, this is crazy. And I'm we're in this space, but my brother has his own room, and I'm sleeping on like the cot, like this little like stretch out, like weird bed that is so uncomfortable. And I'm waking up every morning, rolling over, looking at my phone, being like, did my manager call? Did I miss the call? Any texts, any messages about like any emails about what they're doing? Nothing. So every morning I'm waking up being like, bro, I didn't hear nothing yet. This morning, it was like 6 a.m. My parents are calling me. I called my brother, and Keanu was there at the time. And they're like, okay, Poppy had a stroke, but it's all right. He was making jokes. He walked himself to the ambulance. Like, he's all right. But he had a stroke, so he's in the hospital right now. I don't want you guys to stress out about it. It's all right. I just wanted to let you know. Actually, no, I'm wrong. That was 2 days ago. That was 2 days prior, because we were at a different Airbnb at the time. So they were like, don't tell your brother right away. We want to tell him. We don't want to worry him. He's dancing. He's doing his thing. We don't want to take him off his square. So just like hold it down. He's really good. Don't worry about it. He'll get better. We'll keep you updated. That, when we get to the new Airbnb, I'm sleeping on this cot and everything, is when they call me at 6 a.m. and go, so he's passed away. It went from he's doing well, he's recovering, now there's some swelling in his brain, he passed away. All in a matter of 2 days.
Crazy.
And I break down immediately because this is my guy, right? And one of the last things he told me, like I saw him in like the April of that year, was like, read your Bible every day. He's like, you're doing good. I see you thanking God on your Instagram and all kind of stuff. And you're doing great work and you won an award for this play and you're thanking God first thing. And I love it. You're reading your Bible every day. I'm like, not yet. He's like, make sure you do that. That's very important. So why am I reading my Bible every day since then? And everything I'm reading, because I'm just opening to random pages. I don't have no reference to how to read the Bible. I'm just like, whatever the Spirit leads me to at the time. And it's a verse about like, don't worry about death. It's fine. It's not the end. It's not the end. Just preparing me for this like super traumatic death in my life, right? Don't worry about death. It's not the end. I don't remember any of the verses now because it was like 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. But at the time, like not knowing what I was being prepared for, I was just reading a lot of scripture that was like, don't worry about death. Don't worry about death. It was Jesus saying it. Don't worry. It's not the end. Like, your heavenly Father is way more important than anything that can happen in this world. I'm like, okay. And then he passes away in July, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? So now, like, I have those tears. My brother's there. Kiana's there. She's with us all. And now we got to go home. Yeah. We have to cut our trip short. We got to go home. Because we were actually going to leave in like 2 days. But now we got to leave now because the funeral was going to be the next day and all that kind of crap. Don't get the job that I'm out there for in the first place. Mm-hmm. Found out that same day, didn't get it. It's going a different direction. I'm like, so it's going a different direction. Like the same thing they'll say to you when you audition initially and don't hear nothing. Hey, did anything happen with this? We're going in a different direction. I'm at screen test phase now. I'm feeling like we're doing the deal. Like I'm going to hear something. I'm owed something now at this point.
Yeah.
It's going a different direction. And my grandpa died. I want to punch you. You know what I mean? Like, don't cheese me. What the heck? But it's not their fault. But I'm just like, give me the job. What are you talking about?
Right.
So we go back to LA. This is the first time I ever go to Chicago. Sorry, we go back to Toronto. But we had to stop and you need a last minute flight. And the last minute flight was flying out of LA and stopping in Chicago and then going to Toronto. But there's like, I don't know, some thunderstorm happening or some crap, so we can't fly into Toronto. That flight gets canceled. So we're just like chilling in Chicago in the airport. And I'm like, we need to leave. Like, it's me and my brother, and he doesn't know the first thing about like flying, and it's me he's looking at. So I'm like, how are we going to get out of here to get to the funeral tomorrow morning? And I'm telling him, look, our flight was canceled. It's not our fault. Can you help in any way? Oh, I don't know, man. Here's a voucher to go get some food. I'm like, bro, I'm not like, this is what a day. Right? I have the quick idea, thank God, to be like, okay, what if we go to Buffalo? What if we change our flight direction? Because there's no more flights flying to Toronto. Now it's like 11 o'clock. The last flight leaving to Buffalo is like in 10 minutes. Maybe we can get a quick little thing to Buffalo, and my parents come drive across the border and pick us up from Buffalo. We get a flight to Buffalo, and that's exactly what happens, right? We go, thank God, we land in Buffalo. They pick us up. Take us home. The next day is a wake, and stuff, and we laid him to rest. And I realized in that time what I was being prepared for was to be able to be there for my family, because there were no more tears coming out of me. There was no more anguish and grief. It was like I had grieved for the last 4 months. I had read in the scripture, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. This flesh is nothing. Your spirit is everything. So I'm looking at him at the wake being like, that's not even my grandpa. You don't even look like him no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like this guy, it's just meat now. Mm-hmm. And they shaped him and made him look like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what this is. Like, it's not the same anymore. Mm-hmm. But my dad, my mom, my cousins and everyone else was like, they weren't prepared for it in that way. But I was able to show up for them. I was able to be there and comfort them and not be in my grief at the same time. I was able to show up in a way that I probably wouldn't have had I not been prepared for it all those months before. But guess what? I'm still broke. So broke as a joke. Thinking about maybe going back to Pickle Barrel, maybe get a job at the Keg or something like that. Let me get some like another serving job so I can pick up some money. Holy, I have no money. It's crazy. Get another audition. Now it's September. Get another audition for Bruh. I go to do this audition. I get Tyler Perry and his people want to fly you to LA, put you up in the Four Seasons to do this callback. I'm like, oh shit, I'm pretty close. You're not gonna put me up in a hotel just because. I might be one of them guys. I go there, bro. Hold on, wait. At the same time, I get this audition for Power. And all I knew at the time was Power was finishing and they're going to do a origin story beforehand or afterwards. And I'm like, all right. So I'm reading Drew Tejada and I'm reading like these other character names. I'm thinking, oh, it's code. It's code. It's code. I look like I could play a young Omari Hardwick. I'm going to be going out for a young Ghost. And it's like he's drawing and there's like his sister wanted to play basketball with him and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah. It's all just mock side. It's not going to make it. I'm thinking about like, I got to play my best Ghost in this scene. Kiana goes, I'm doing this scene with Kiana. She goes, okay, do it again. You're doing great. Now try drawing the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. That changes the scene for me, right? Because now it's like, whatever you're trying to talk to me about is whatever. I'm trying to do this thing, right? Good. Send it off. Not thinking anything of it. I go to LA to do the Bruh callback. I get to this hotel, bro. We're in there the next day, these callbacks, and it's so many guys in there. I was like, how was this like, wait, I thought this was like the final round, basically. You know what I mean? I didn't think we are going to be doing anything else. I thought this was it. Like, I do this, and like, it's like 5 guys, and we're all going for the same part, and that's it. There's like so many people that I was like, oh, this is just like how they do it. You know what I mean? Like, okay. But my manager was like, you extend your trip a little bit because they might want to see you for Ghost or for the spinoff. I'm like, all right, sure, I'll extend my trip, but I ain't got no money to extend my trip. So Kiana again was like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And you just get me back later. All right, bet. Do Bruh. It was one of the most anxiety-inducing auditions I've ever had in my life because I had no idea how to act. It was like, I'm reading with Tyler Perry himself. And I'm like, in my mind, my grandma, she told me years ago, my grandma's Jamaican, from Jamaica. She goes, why don't you reach out to Tyler Perry and ask him to be in one of him things? Because you know, we have so many things to do and things like that. Reach out to Tyler Perry, you know.
Every black.
And I'm like, wait a minute, reach out, just email him now. Him email somewhere, just email him. All right, so nothing. No, that's not how it works, right? I emailed him. I actually did that. I got nothing. So here I am, all these years later, face to face with this man. I'm like, good morning, sir. Like all that type of stuff, on that type of energy. He's like, just stand on the X, brother. You know what I mean? Just like very business. Because yeah, you're here to do a job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm reading with him, but the camera's so far in the back. And I'm like, I don't know what is being seen. I don't know my body right now. And we do the scene, and it's like quick and easy, and we're out of there. Like, I thought it was going to be like, I'm working with Tyler Perry. He's a great actor. He knows I get to act today. You know what I mean? We're going to do some shit. And he's like, hey, then just, all right, thank you. Bye. You know? And I'm like, oh, because it's a business. We're working, you know? So that's done. I'm like, I don't know. I guess like I did a good job. But there were so many things happening or energetically, so many whispers and sprinklings of God in this whole endeavor that was like, it could only be him. It could only be God, bro. The night before the whole Bruh reading, I went to this random spot that I don't even know exists anymore in LA. But it was like down the street from I love to walk, and I was walking around. I bump into Dwayne Martin. I'm like, what's up, Dwayne Martin? You know what I mean? I'm seeing people. I'm like, I'm brand new to LA, like in this way.
Yeah.
I'm seeing celebrities. I'm like, I don't know how to act. But I go to this bar or this like restaurant, and I wanted some fish and chips. Found this joint, fish and chip place, fire fish and chips, crazy. But I'm at the bar because it's packed, and I'm eating the food, and this guy beside me, he's just there by himself chilling, and I'm like destroying these fish and chips are so good, bro. And we end up, I'm just in a good vibe, and I'm having a nice conversation with him. I'm just talking, and I'm telling him, yeah, I'm here to do this audition for this Tyler Perry joint. and I don't know if I'm gonna like, get it. I'm feeling a little nervous. It's tomorrow, but I also have this other audition for this this power thing that I'm thinking about. Like maybe I might get. I don't know if I'm right for it. I don't know what's going on. And he's just being nice and kind and just a nice ear. And I'm ready to leave. So I pack up my stuff. I'm ready to go. And he's just pouring into me saying like, I really have a good feeling about one of these things that you're going to go out for. So just like go and do your thing and kill it. This is Mac Miller's dad. Yeah.
Wow.
It was Mac Miller's dad. He told me right there, my son Malcolm, he passed recently. You may know him, da 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 da. But I'm talking to him the whole time being like, I'm talking to Mac Miller's pops. And his heart is so open and kind and gentle. And this is not the visage or image of a man who's lost his son. Mm-hmm. This is a guy who understands how to be a human being and be like so loving, who maybe like was so full of love. I don't know like what he was going through internally, but there was something coming out of him that like was so generous that really like poured into me. Wow. And I didn't even know I needed it. Wow. So I go into that bro audition and I do what it does and it's done. And then I got to go now leave my hotel and go. And my manager at the time was like, you stay at my guest house. So I'm staying with him. And we get into, the power audition. And the power audition is what I expected the Tyler Perry one to be. The power audition was the one that it's you and it's the casting director and Courtney's there and Anthony Hemingway is there. And they're like, now do it like this and change it like this and think about this note and da da da. I'm like,
closer to?
Your camera's much closer. Camera's right here. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, right. Oh, okay. Like we're acting together. We're playing together now. Right. So no matter what happened, I left that room being like, wow, I acted today. I felt really good. I felt really like joyful and I got to show my stuff and there was no pressure. Bro, I found out a week later I got that job. I was like, wait a minute. I got this. Nah, bro. I thought I was going to play a doctor. This handsome dude is going to be like, no, you're going to play Drew. And then they tell us it's going to be this direct continuation of power. And there's this whole thing. It happened so fast. Mm-hmm. And in Canada, we have Thanksgiving in October. So they put me up in this hotel to do a table read at the same time that it was Thanksgiving. I was like, all right, like here we are. Like, I don't know this is my first time being in the States on my own. Mm-hmm. Normally it's me and Kiana or me and a group of friends, but it's just me now. Like, and I'm here in New York, in Brooklyn. I don't even know like nothing about nothing. And then we do the table read. We do like, hey, you're here now. So you got to find a place to stay. Here's, you got to set up your own account. You got to set up your own this. You got to get incorporated. All these things that you had to just like do in a matter of like days. You didn't have to do those things, but it was like the smarter thing to do. You know what I mean? Strategically. Right. And yeah, it felt like it happened overnight, bro. It felt like it happened overnight, but it was such a long, drawn out, grieving process. It was this whole thing, bro. Mm-hmm. And again, I cannot stress this enough. I don't even remember. Like I went into overdraft like 2-3 times. Like I had so little money, it made no sense. And that went from that to making the most money I've ever made up until that point in my life. Yeah. It was incredible, bro.
I had Brandon on the pod a while back and spoke about the same thing from going from nothing to the Flash. And he's like, I am seeing the most money I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So it's just a reminder to anybody listening that whatever it is you have your heart set on, just continue to go, continue to grind, continue to just push through, man.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Thanks for asking.
Hopefully this inspires somebody listening.
Yeah.
Now there's another part that I really want to touch on now because, we touched on the money and the entertainment side of things. You've talked a lot about Kiana. You've talked a lot about your faith. And I feel like they kind of both go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. As the first one in the group of our friends to be married, how do you find as a man now being married the struggles of dealing with the things that we dealt with when we were single? Or let's keep it real, you were the guy, you were the guy
I'm sweet, bro. I'm sweet. I'm CW sweet. Like,
Bro, for those that don't know, it's an inside joke. Back in the day, there used to be a network called the CW. I think it's still around. Yeah, CW is still around, but it's not what it used to be. But CW only used to have like really attractive people.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got my first role on Riverdale, I was like, guys, I'm attractive.
Yeah, bro, that validation.
I'm CW sweet.
Yes.
But you know, as an attractive, charismatic, now you're making money on top of that, and you're married. Talk to me as a man. How do you handle dealing with female attention? How do you deal with that on your day to day? Because it's, you know, women tend to see men that are making money, successful, and you've got a beautiful wife. But how do you stop yourself being like, you know what? No, I'm good. Because I think this part might help a young man out there, or not even a man, just a man out there.
Totally.
You know?
I think it also helps. I'm not doing it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
Amen.
So it's like you're a man at the end of the day, and women don't just disappear all of a sudden as soon as you get married. I think the biggest thing to know is that you have your partner to lean on for those things. You can be open and honest with your partner and say, like, you know, I was out today and this girl was giving me attention. I was catching a vibe. But I'm with you. Mm-hmm. And normally, as a single man, I'm entertaining that. And so now it's a new dynamic with me being with someone that I want to be committed to. I didn't do anything. I don't want to do anything. But I just want to be transparent. You know, I want to be open and honest, because at the end of the day, like, this is our lives, you know, and it's so easy to mess things up and to ruin what you have and so special and sacred and golden. I want to pour into my brothers outside and say, like, first of all, when you get a partner that is equally yoked with you, and you get someone that loves you and that knows Jesus and that is now trying to love you the way you deserve to be loved as a man, and someone that makes you want to love them as Christ loved the church, that is worth more than $15 billion in your bank account. That is worth more than any woman who can give you attention to make you feel like you need that validation. Always search within, you know, for why I need to entertain anyone else. So when I was single, I was definitely searching for validation in other women. When I was in high school, I was a little pimple-faced kid, and I was a really athletic guy, and I was like always doing sports, but like the girls that I liked didn't like me. You know, I always felt like the nerdy type of guy that couldn't get the girl, but like wanted the girl, and I wasn't cool enough, and I wasn't tall enough, and I wasn't this, and I wasn't that. Now being a little bit older and getting that kind of attention from very attractive women, but also being married at the same time, it's like remembering that for me, she had eyes and she chose me. Right? That's a bar from Othello. It's like, for the first time, not the first time, but for the first significant time in my life, it was like, I found this woman who I found was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. The most beautiful person, the most beautiful butterfly, flower, out of all the things in the world that are beautiful, she is the most beautiful thing. Inside and out. And she is seeing me that same way. The way that I see myself internally. The way that I see myself externally. And she get the pick of the litter and she goes, no, that's the guy I want. And me going, I get the pick of the litter. That's the woman I want. We've created a life together now. We've been together for almost 9 years.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's not long in terms of like you people. I've been married for 25, 50 years.
No, but here's the
But
thing.
it's this long.
9 years,
Almost
bro.
9 years.
9 years is a long time, bro.
You know, been married for 2, been together for almost 9.
Yeah.
And it's like we've been building together. And it's like I think it's just now being a part of what being a man is also understanding like you have control over your choices. There is no such thing as you fell into someone else.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as she fell onto you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Women are going to be women. They're going to be beautiful, and they're going to be outside, and they're going to be like, you're going to see them all your life, all the time. There will always be an excuse to step out on your relationship. There will always be that. If you find it, there will be that. That will never end.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you as a man to choose your partner, your spouse, the person that you've made vows with, and, you know, to choose them over all the hot things that are outside and pouring into this person that, again, you chose, you wanted to be with, you love unconditionally and loves you unconditionally. So when I say with like dealing with lust is like, just remember like why you love this person, who you love, and why you're committed to this person, you know? And I've said this to you guys, like, and this is a little vulgar, I'm sorry, but I've even said this to Kiana too, but like, I guess I'm a very logical guy. Like I'm a very heady dude, but like at the end of the day, it all feels the same.
Yeah, I do remember this.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, imagine, if you will, a scenario like Power, where Ghost is married, he's with his family, and he loves Tasha and all that stuff, and then the one that got away comes back, right? Well, for him, he was enraptured in this whole thing about, like, she's the one that got away, but he wanted to be a better man for that one instead of being a better man for his actual wife, because she represents Ghost, and he wants to be James St. Patrick with Angela, right? But the lustful aspect of it was that the sex they had was tremendous, but he could never have peace there because they were in two different worlds. Mm-hmm. So I have to do this thing, and we have this in passionate sex, and then I gotta like leave because I gotta go back to my wife. There's no peace in that. There's no peace in that anymore, right? You can't lay here. You can't stay here. You can't make a home here. You can't build here. You're only getting one thing from this environment. Mm-hmm. Lust can only give you one thing. It's only pleasure of the flesh, right? When we talk about worldly lust, it's not just sexual. It's like, I want that sports car. I want that new PlayStation. I want that new whatever. There's always going to be new and shinier things to get and acquire. We live in a capitalist society. But at the end of the day, it's all going to do the same thing. It just fills that space of pleasure. Mm-hmm. What about the person that you have, that you've committed to, that you love? For me, my wife is not only attractive and sexy and all these things to me, she's also a safe space for me.
Love that. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, like I can trick around and do all these things, but now I can't lay here. Mm-hmm. I have to wake up now and like, oh, hold on, what did I do? And then that post-nut clarity is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, she has this big butt and this and this, all that kind of stuff. But then at the end of the day, you finish and you're like, oh, say where? What did I do?
Oh, what did I do?
Oh no! Like, have you ever had those anxiety dreams where you cheated on your person and been like, oh no? When you wake up, you're like, it was a dream. Like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but like, there are guys out there that have had that kind of dream, right? Where like you're committed to someone and you know, like you're doing this thing in the dream and it feels crazy and you're like, yo, I shouldn't be doing this, da da da. But then you wake up and you're like, whoa, that was a dream. Thank the Lord. Mm-hmm. Or like you're having a crazy argument with your wife or your significant other, and your guys are fighting each other and it's very nasty and it's full of vitriol, and you wake up and you're like, oh, that was a dream. my chest is like her beating up my chest. Like that was real. Like I thought I was gonna have to deal with the residual damage of this
That one I've
argument.
had.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's like, thank God it's a dream. That anxiety is real.
Yeah.
That anxiety that you feel in your body is real, and people really will subject themselves to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I know from personal experience, I'm not trying to put my business out there, like, but I have family members, you know what I mean, that have made choices that they're still dealing with to this day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they've had this safe space at home. They've had this, you know, this nurturing environment. They've had what they've been looking for in some way or another. And all you had to do is, if it wasn't 100%, fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Take the time to fix it, to build it, to talk about it. To
80 to a 90 to a 100.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But instead, they stepped out and created this whole world and universe now that is a place of non-peaceful existence.
Yeah.
And there's turmoil in your spirit now. For a long time, for prolonged periods of time, because of this choice. We all have it in the day, the freedom of choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't have to step out because we're not feeling satisfied. We have to be able to tame ourselves. We have to be able to have self-control, you know? And at the end of the day, when you love this person and when you like want to honor this person and when you want to take care of this person and you don't want to hurt this person, sometimes that logic will go out the window in a time of temptation, right? But try to remember what it might feel like after the fact. Like, so that's, so, you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, if I can't get you with the don't do it because of XYZ, maybe think about how you feel after XYZ.
Yeah.
You might feel like, do you think it would be worth it after the XYZ? You got to go now, lie about it. You got to go, are you going to tell the truth and deal with the residual damage?
Right.
She might box you.
Right.
That might hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, I'm going off on a tangent here, but
no, go ahead, please.
I just want to, like, again, it all feels the same. You get to a sexual encounter with a person, it all feels the same. Even like a loving nest egg that you trust, that you want to be at. The sex part feels the same.
Mm-hmm.
But then the difference is, I can lay here. I can stay here. I could build a home here.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel at peace here. I don't have to worry about, I got to flush the condom now because I don't trust this person. What is this person doing, some kind of OBL behind my back or trying to keep me here and trying to... That's real, bro. Spiritual ties and connections and people trying to keep a man in places and like trying to keep women in places and like spiritual attacks are real. And like, you never want to put yourself in a position as a man. Again, I'm speaking to people that like, you want to be a man, right? You want to be integral with your word. You want to be solid with who you are in a framework as a man. There are people out there that will try things like nefarious things to keep you in a space of lustful attention after that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be very careful where you plant your seed. But if you have somebody that you trust and that you love and that like, I ain't got to think about none of that when I'm with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, let me stay here.
Yeah.
Let me build here. Let me build where, like, if we did have a kid, I'm not tripping about it.
Yeah.
I like you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually like being here. Like, this is nice.
It's nice here.
I can stay here. I can rest here. I can feel, like, comfortable and at peace here.
Yeah.
There's peace. Because I can tell you so many times, you can be a crazy man when you're young and in your 20s and 30s and da-da-da-da. But every old man I've ever talked to, man, all I want is some peace. I just want peace and quiet in my home, man. I just want some peace, man. Damn, this man, she's stressing me out. This one's stressing me out. I just want some peace. Yeah. I know. Yeah. You just want some peace. Yeah. Pusha T talks about it. He got a wife and kids, right? Or he has a wife and a family. He has things. Malice talks about has a wife. Like, when he finds a wife, he finds a good thing for a reason. Because you have a person that you can trust and build with. And it's always... Kiana always reminds me when we talk about movies that we watch and the drama of the thing is point to it. There's always a man doing some bullshit. Mm-hmm. Part of my language. that ends up being like the residual damage as to why this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. We can always, because at the end of the day, we are in control of ourselves. We govern our emotions and our thought patterns and our actions. Even when someone pisses us off or hurts us, or if someone were to punch me in the face, it's going to take a lot not to react. It'll take everything in me not to react. But I control my reaction. You understand? I control what I can do. I can only control this. No one put me under a spell. No one intoxicated my drink or something like that. No one did anything to me. No one put a gun in my head and said, you got to do this thing or else. It's I control my reactions and my deeds and my things, like, you know. And it's not easy in this world to avoid temptation, to avoid, there's so many lustful images out there, you know. They say it like guard your ear gate and guard your eye gate and all that kind of stuff. It's like, there's a lot. Instagram is full of it. Threads, X, full of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not an easy territory as a man to navigate when there's so many images out there telling you, and the music sometimes is telling you like, man, this feels crazy, and having this kind of thing and having so many women and this attention and da 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 da. But you got to look at the example that the person is that's giving you this image or giving you this thing to aspire to. Always look at the fruit of what they have. And is that something that you want for yourself, realistically, as a man? Do you want what they have? Because if my boy is telling you, man, every song I have is about how a woman did me dirty and I can't trust women and these women are trifling and this and that, and people miss the old version of me because I used to talk about how much I respected women and love women. I can't do it because everyone has showed me their true selves, and that's turmoil. I don't know who I can trust. Turmoil. You know what I mean? That's hard. That's not an easy place to be. I don't want that. You know, it would be nice to have $1 million in the bank and be ogled after and be sought after and all those kind of things. But at the end of the day, now I got to go home with, after my tour, I got to go home with this person and this person, this person. But at the end of the day, I just want somebody I can confide in. And you have that. That's, again, way more valuable than $15 million in the bank. Way more valuable than whatever Ferrari, car, status symbol, you know, that can give you. So it's not easy, my friends. But you can do everything through Christ who strengthens you.
Beautiful, man. Beautifully put. Beautifully.
I got some long-winded answers, my guy.
No, I love it, man. This was great, man. One of the best pieces of advice that I ever heard. It was on another podcast I was listening to, and shout out to Charlemagne the God. I was listening to his podcast, Brilliant Idiots, and he said, "If you are a man in this world that has something to lose, act like it."
Act like it. Facts. Yeah. You did say that. Yeah.
I heard that. I
said,
for real.
Yeah, man.
And like when you realize, like you have, cause I think the thing is a lot of times that people just think about the moment, like the moment that's happening. Yeah. They're not thinking about how that person's gonna feel. They're not thinking about who they have potentially employed or who they have connected to them. They don't think about all the little things. Everything trickles down, right? Everything, and there's a consequence for everything we do in this world, be it good or bad. And for me, myself, with everything that I have experienced in my life up to this point, which is kind of one of the reasons why I started this podcast, is to help people so they don't make dumb decisions like me. Stop making dumb decisions, y'all.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't call it dumb. That's the thing about, like, the devil tries to shame you, right? Like, but they say, like, I've been hearing this quote a lot: "Tell the truth, shame the devil." Right. But like, the devil is where you get shame from. Right. The devil is where you get, like, and the devil means the literal word devil means the adversary, your enemy, right? So whoever you think your enemy is, the enemy could be your internal thoughts. The enemy could be people out there actually trying to pray on your downfall for whatever reason because they don't like you or you slighted them in some kind of way, whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, there is some kind of challenge out there for you trying to live a righteous life. And so I won't say that people have made dumb decisions. I'll say you made a decision from a place of somewhere that hasn't been fully healed, right? Like, I will say for myself, I have ex-girlfriends that, like, will say, like, I was not a good boyfriend. Like, I was not, like, the best guy. I was a I'm putting my dirty laundry out there. I've definitely cheated on my exes before. Yeah, man, definitely. I'm not proud. I'm not proud of it. It was from a place of insecurity.
Insecurity, yeah.
It was from a place of not understanding my own self-worth and who I wanted to be as a man. I was really young. I was in my 20s, but like it was like early 20s, but it was like actually no, 19. But it was always from a place of lack of self-respect, lack of knowledge, and I didn't respect the other person.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't understand those concepts at the time.
Yeah.
But I thought I did. And that was another thing. I wasn't teachable.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I knew everything. I still think I know everything. I'm like that. But I can only look back on it, right? And see that, wow, this guy didn't know anything about anything. And I didn't even know what true heartbreak was until I went through that and was like, oh, wait, help. Oh, yo, this hurts. Like, I don't want to feel this way again.
What more do you want?
Right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing, too. It's like, hurt people,
yeah.
right? And for guys who are dealing with lust, we all deal with lust and like, you know, temptation and things like that. Some of the most righteous men in the world, some of the guys, like Paul, he didn't talk about it, but he definitely was dealing with something because he didn't say he had a wife or family or nothing. It wasn't easy. Walking around in them times, it definitely is not easy to want those things because you don't cut off that part of yourself, right? My dog is neutered. He was humping my leg the other day. I thought you get rid of the balls. They don't do that no more. No, they still do that. It's in their nature, right? So it's like God has given us, you know, all the scientific things in your body that make you, you know, turned on and give you an erection and get your blood pumping, all those kind of things. Those are things that are natural to your body, right? And we learned either right ways or wrong ways to actually be able to deal with those things in a healthy way growing up. Some of us were subjected to sexual things at like 9, 6, you know what I mean? Early.
Yeah.
That's mad early. That's way too early for a child, you know, to understand what sex really is. And so some of us need therapy. Some of us have kinks that need to be explored in other ways in a safe environment, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying to Charlemagne, saying like, you know, if you got something to lose, act like it. And some people will put other people who don't consent in weird situations and then want to call it a volatile relationship afterwards. There are places for that. There are clubs and societies where you can go express that all you want and it's a safe space and you got a safe word and go do that there. You know what I'm saying? Or go to therapy and find out what's going on in here that I need to do that. You know, is that a healthy thing? Is that right for me? Or is that something that I've only ever known sex to look like or feel like or be? Am I trying to replicate something? What's going on in here? For me, I know like I was subjected to sex way too young, you know, and that shows up in my present day, in my life, in like understanding what sex is from a more animalistic place and not from a place of like a Christian standpoint, right? Like sex is good. Sex is a thing that is natural, that happens. The Song of Solomon wasn't shown to me before this kid in my building showed us, oh, I got into my brother's pornos. You see what I'm saying? And so like you understand, you look at that image and you're like, oh, that's what sex is supposed to look like? Song of Solomon is talking about I caress your bosom and I this and I that and I love you and you're my lover and I want to celebrate you and take care of you and be gentle with you and love you and uplift you and all this stuff. And you're seeing these like rough images in the porn magazine. So it's like, who gets to your children first kind of thing. For me, it's like I want to rewrite, God willing, I'll be able to do this over time or something, rewrite what my understanding of what a healthy sexual relationship looks like. And that's a journey I think, you know, a lot of Caribbean men might understand really well. And a lot of men in general will understand really well. I know Forrest Frank talked about it. Like he was watching porn really young and he was like replicating that in his early on in his relationship. And his girl was like, where'd you get that from? Because we grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? So like, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that move from? That's not us, right? Like what's our dynamic sexually? What's our rhythm, right? What's our understanding of our bodies? that is a very pure thing.
Mm-hmm.
And music and movies and all this kind of stuff have, I wouldn't say perverted it, but have made it to be something that is like forbidden and also hot because it's forbidden, and like don't touch what you like want to touch and that kind of stuff. We've really like desire, right, has really like been pushed out to us. And I'm interested in seeing new images of what it would mean to have sex with someone that you love and that you want to cherish and take care of. It doesn't have to be gentle, but what does it look like to honor this person? And that's the story. You know what I mean? Like romantic comedies, romances, and all that kind of stuff. And like, what does it look like from a biblical standpoint?
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds corny and weird, I guess, like after school special type, but it's like we've been so given the other thing. So what does the other thing look like now?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the other thing looks like anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One side of the coin. Let me see the other side.
Yeah. You know, I want to see what it looks like for like your partner to be so in love with you, and you be so in love with your partner, and discovering like their body together, and discovering the relationship and the rhythms, and being so invested in that. And guess what? That will change. So you may be with a person for like 5 years, and what they liked 5 years ago, they actually discovered they like this too, or this is different now, and they don't like that as much, and this, it grows. As you grow and change and evolve with your body, it'll change too. And that's fun to discover, right? So when it comes to like, sometimes we like the new thing, you know, we want to explore what the new thing is, but the new thing can be your thing all the time.
Right.
You know, it's like acting, right? Like, it's like the scene, you can do the scene a million different ways. And every time you do it, that's what a play is. Every time you do that play, it's new and exciting and different every time. You're saying these words for the first time. It's extra work. It is extra work to pour into what you have at home, and to rediscover again over and over and over again what you have at home, and recreating that for yourself. But I think it's more fun that way. And you never have to worry about so many things that we have to worry about as men and as like society, like just like STDs and all that kind of stuff that you got to like deal with.
Real.
You don't got to worry about that stuff if you're just like staying at home. I know it sounds corny. I'm even hearing my own voice. I'm like, dog, what? Like, but I'm like, nobody wanted to listen to Chance the Rapper when he was celebrating the fact that he got married.
Right.
Everyone was like, that's bullcrap. That's corny. We hate it. We hate it. We hate it. We don't like it. What's this guy doing? We're not on that no more. Music Soul Child used to celebrate love, right? Like the R&B we grew up on in the 90s, 2000s, we were celebrating love, celebrating it, celebrating a love that is pure and kind and loving. All the fruits of the Holy Spirit's in the Bible. We've snuck it in R&B, and we've gotten away from that, I feel, you know? Where it's just like, I can be listening to the radio being like, she gave me sloppy top and I was in the car and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, bro, you're wildin'. Like, who is this? I was like, literally, I was like, who? I had to ask myself, I'm like, who is this song for?
Yeah.
Right? When you're writing a project, when you're creating a project, right? And you're submitting it to like grants and stuff like that, they're asking you like, who is this for? Who is this market? Who are you writing this for? Who's the audience? Right? I'm like, do they have to answer the same questions when you're like a singer or a rapper these days? Like, who is this song for? What's the demographic for? Because if I'm in the whip getting sloppy toppy from the girl, like, and I'm like being rough with her, like, is that what she wants? Is that what the girls want to hear? So is this what the guys want to hear? Who wants to hear this to a slow R&B beat? Like, who is this for? You know, I found myself asking that more and more these days. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong now. I'm not saying I'm only listening to Christian music in the whip. Oh no. I got Party Next, that P4 stuck on repeat. And you know, all that stuff. But I'm just asking. I'm just asking, like, who is it for? What is the demographic?
Right.
You know, am I supposed to listen to this song with my wife in the car? Or is this for the homies? Or is this for the first date with the new girl? Like, what is the demographic? You know, it's just for me in the whip at night by myself. Like, I don't know. So I want to know what it would be like. I can't wait for like my favorite artists who I've grown up with to get married. What type of music you gonna make now?
Right.
You know?
It's gonna be a different vibe for sure.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they look like get married, like, and just chilling. You know, I can't wait for domesticated R&B singers and domesticated rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they got to be honest now, because if they're not, we're not gonna listen to the music no more. Like, you know.
Well, I had 8 girls.
No, you don't. You at home, dog.
You're at home with your wife and you're like 4 kids. Like,
You know what I'm saying? I think that's why the Clips album slapped so hard.
Yeah.
Because they were being truthful.
Yeah.
You know, they were talking about what it felt like when their parents passed and their individual experiences with that. They were talking about, you know, having kids or like, and going through that. I think Pusha T said, you know, they had a miscarriage, right? And what that experience was like. So it's like, thank you for sharing that as married men who don't want to be in the kerfuffle of the thing because you've seen the drama.
Yeah. It's not fun.
We need that.
We don't need that anymore.
We need a little bit of guidance. You know what I mean? We need some of that.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been saturated with the other thing. We need a little bit more on the other side, for sure.
It's true. We only know what we know, and we can only go through what we go through.
Yeah.
And that's the whole premise of this podcast.
Yeah.
The only way to grow through it
is to go through.
Amen,
brother.
Lovell, man, thank you so much for coming on today and
Yeah.
just talking and sharing your insight, your knowledge from your personal experience. I hope that it helps somebody. It's definitely helped me, and just hearing parts of your story, man. Like, it's just so beautiful, man. And like being a married man, a Black married man in this world where I find that was one of my struggles. I had a hard time growing up with relationships. And like in my mind, I had an idea of what a marriage would be or what it would look like or what a long-term relationship would look like. But I had a hard time committing. I had a really hard time committing to people because I'm like, oh, this can't be the one. This doesn't feel like the one. This doesn't feel right at all. But as I continue to grow and learn through my faith-based journey and through my own personal experiences, I understand that, oh, you have to choose this person every single day.
Yeah.
There's no, like, I blame Disney. I love
Yeah.
Disney, but I blame Disney for this like perfect magical relationship that happens. And what I realize is that Disney only shows us that one part. It doesn't show us what happens after. It doesn't show us the argument that Jasmine and Aladdin had because Aladdin still shits in a bucket because he's used to living on the street. You know what I mean? It doesn't show how Beast sometimes wakes up in the middle of the night screaming from his Beast trauma, and Belle's there like, no, it's okay, you're not the Beast anymore. You know what I mean? You know, you don't get Ariel just randomly jumping into the ocean and the prince is like, no, stop jumping in the ocean.
You can't
swim. You can't breathe on the ground. You know? You just see that one little aspect. So I appreciate you coming on and talking about from the career to the marriage to even dealing with the lust, because I think that's an important part to deal with as a man.
Totally.
Yeah. Lovell, I like to end every single episode of Growing Through It with 3 questions that I think about a lot, and I like to ask people that come on their opinions and their thoughts on these. Okay. So the first one for you.
I watch your shit, so I'm a little bit.
Oh, he's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. First question: if you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be and why?
Super speed, because I've always wanted to be, like, I did track growing up, so I love being fast. I love jumping far, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like super speed is the most practical one you can get because you can use that to your advantage in anything. Imagine, if you will, me, 33 years old, going to being like the #1 track star in the world. How did he do it? I don't know, man. I ate some yam or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just one day fast. Like, nah, I'm just that much. You just run like a little bit faster than the fastest guy and it looks like natural. But I'm actually like the Flash in real life. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never know it. I can make millions and millions of dollars off of that. Shoe deals, bro, it's crazy, dog. It's the most practical one.
That's crazy. But you know what? That makes perfect sense. I totally get it. All right. Question number 2 for you. What is one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
There was this Forrest Frank's album has this skit from his I think his grandpa, and he says he would want to be closer related to God earlier on. So I have no regrets in anything I've in my life. I'm so young, but I wish I knew Jesus earlier. I wish I didn't take. I was growing up listening to going to church and being like, this is for old people. Sun hats, and like I was just seeing old people in the church all the time. And if you were a young kid in church, like you were just like a nerd, like get out of here, like oh look at me, I'm going to church on every Sunday, like like I was definitely that guy. Like I'd fall asleep in church all the time. Like I was hungry. I would be dragged to church, like hungry. Just like just get me out of here. Like 3 hour sermons. Like I went to Pentecostal church, bro. Like so it was like we're just freestyling the whole thing. And don't get me wrong, like I crave that now. Like well, maybe not crave. I don't want to go for 3 or 4 hours, but just that experience again of like I wonder what it would be like to be present as like a 9-year-old in church. Mm-hmm. What that would have been like for me, and like knowing that Jesus is my Lord and Savior at 9, as opposed to finding out when I'm like 30.
Yeah.
And understanding who he is in my life earlier on. I wonder, because like I said, I brought up that whole experience with my ex-girlfriend, and like I got cheated on her and stuff like that. I don't think I would have done that if I knew him.
Yeah.
If he was moving through me, I wouldn't have done that. And if she's listening, if she's out there, like, my bad. Not literally my bad, but like, I hope you're well, and I hope that like, everything that we experienced back when we were like 18, 19, like didn't sour your experience with, who you found in your life now. Because relationships are interesting. And when you're a teenager and like you're a young adult, and I was in college, I think like I thought I knew everything, and I thought I knew how to navigate relationships, and I thought I was like this super smart guy. I prided myself on being smarter than everybody else and all that kind of stuff. And so I justified like stepping out on the relationship as, well, I don't even know where we stand and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I look back on it now, it's such foolish behavior and so immature. But I understand now, again, hurt people hurt people. So I pray that like me hurting her did not now residual damage her hurting someone else, and continuing that and hardening your heart for love, because it was only through God that I was able to understand my flaws and understand what I was bringing to the relationship, and I understand my place as a man in a relationship, right, to be ready for someone like Kiana. You understand? Like, I had to be mature enough to get for Kiana to come into my life. Otherwise, like, I would have been a dirtbag still. I would have, been doing that, perpetuating that. But that fallout from that relationship broke me so much that I was like, and I didn't understand my self-worth, and I didn't even think I was cute. You know what I mean? And so it was like, I was praying every day because the pain was so bad. I was praying all the time. Like, God, just help me get over this. Like, help. Seriously. And he helped me through that whole experience, understanding who I am, who he says I am. And he matched me with such a beautiful human being. I think what I would tell myself is like, just know Jesus earlier. Like, it's okay to be the church kid, and like, it's not nerdy, it's not geeky, it's not corny, it's not whack. Yeah. You don't have to be everywhere. You might be called to somewhere different. You don't belong everywhere that everyone else is at, and that's okay.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. I agree with that. The whole church thing. God, Sundays.
Dog, I thought it was so whack. I'm like, who's doing this? Like,
bro, I got anime I want to watch. I got games I want to play, but
yeah, dog, I'm trying to play a game. I think
you have to experience things in life to understand faith more.
Yeah,
you really do.
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
Oh, this is why moms is, bro. Like, I get my mom when she used to rest her soul. I get my mom who used to come home after a long day. She'd take off her clothes, put on her house jammies, and just, thank you, Jesus. I get it.
Yeah, I
get it.
Totally.
It makes sense.
Totally.
Sense.
It does.
It makes perfect sense. All right.
Yeah.
Final question for you. What is one goal that you want to accomplish within the next 6 months?
I want to finish this short film I'm working on. What's 6 months from now? like next March. Yeah, finish a short film I'm working on, get it like to like shooting shape, and I want to, and in that goal as well, be physically ready for this film I'm working on with Ron and Alex. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Physically ready. I want to get like in like super good shape, and by proxy then getting back into my karate class and like upgrading to the next belt and finishing that short film. So I guess 3 things in one. I see them all as one thing. I'm like, I gotta do that, and that to do anything else. So
Okay.
yeah.
Checking in with you in the next 6 months.
For sure.
That's what's up. Hey, Lovell, do me a favor. Shamelessly plug yourself. Boom, camera right there.
This one?
That's it.
All right. What's up? My name is Lovell Adams-Gray. You can find me at IG, Lovell Adams-Gray, all one word. You can catch me on Power Book 2 Ghost, the film Morningside, Brother, and God willing, some other dope stuff coming out soon. And God willing, we have some dope BDD projects coming up as well.
All right, Lovell, thank you once again for jumping onto the pod. I appreciate it, brother. Much love. Y'all, it's another wonderful episode of Growing Through It with your boy Ryan Rosary. Thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, remember, the only way to grow through it is to go through it.